no judgment zone. And it's all about just being you and being free, being natural.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Be Natural Show. I cannot think what episode this is, but I know it's after the 5th or the 6th episode. But hey, welcome to it. And we have a returning guest here, which is Janae Desisal coming out of Texas. And then we have the other, which is part of the panel, that is Vikisha Johnson.
Hey, everybody.
And we are missing 2 people, which is the host of Chandra Collins. We will be missing her. She in the process of trying to move. So blessings coming her way. And then we missing the other panelist, which is Bernice Johnson. So I'm here today with, believe it or not, my 2 nieces. They're 2 different sister kids. And these are the 2 as growing up, always gave me, I don't know why, they always will talk back and just, woo, to me, only the chosen one will do that to me. And they would double team me, but yes, anywho. And also, anyone don't know, I am Veronica Battle, the owner and CEO of Lady Taj Boutique, which I have the pleasure of wearing one of the pieces, the leopard piece. Okay, y'all, let's see. I'll let y'all look at it. Yeah, just a regular sundress leopard, or is it cheetah? One of them. Yeah, is on the site. So, yeah, Lady Taj Boutique, and also we're gonna be. Our topic today is based on Monique and Tammy and Roman conversation. Conversation about really the women going out in public with the bonnets and your little PJs, the slippers, and we're just giving only our thoughts, nothing facts. This is just only our opinion and a discussion. So, starting with you, Janae, what's your thoughts on the bonnet wearing in public?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying just going to the gas station, because I mean that happens. And I'm not talking about if you doing a quick going through a fast food drive-through restaurant. That happens as well. But we're talking about when you actually shopping, let's say at a shopping mall, you actually shopping, or in a grocery store where you actually have to get out and go in amongst people. We're talking about that situation.
Yeah. The bonnet in public for me is a no. I do wear loungewear, even still, I have worn loungewear that's not, I would say it could have been better, but bonnets actually in public, no, you just don't, to me, in my opinion, you just don't want anyone to get the wrong perception of you, because it is the first time appearance and people do judge. I'm not saying you have to take their opinions for face value, obviously, because people wear bonnets all the time. So they kind of don't care, but it just depends. It depends if you care. It depends, how you want yourself to be perceived or how you want others to perceive you. And then also too, it can reach into how you feel about yourself. Some people are like, absolutely not. I'm not going to go out in a bonnet or looking like, I just don't care about myself. So I'm going to vote a no for the bonnet in public, but I would say Monique, in response to this, she did bring out a lot of good points that kind of had us thinking a little bit.
Okay. With me, I think it's a no with me too. It's a no-go. I have gone out in loungewear but now they're making loungewear where it doesn't look like it's PJs. You at home in your pajamas, but the bunny, I think that's really stretching it's gone too far. Do I feel like it? Sometimes, like, I don't feel like changing. I know I'm just gonna run in somewhere real quick and come back out. I do feel that way, but I don't.
Right.
I don't, because it just, and it could be the way I was brought up, because my dad, which is y'all granddaddy, he didn't play that. When you wake up on a Saturday, like, you can't even come down for breakfast, and this is no lie, for breakfast with your pajamas on. Here, you need a house coat, you need to be covered up. Do not come downstairs looking like that. So, and it could be that. I don't know. What's your thoughts, Keisha, over there?
Well, I feel like it's okay for some women to wear bunnies. I mean, that's just, some of them could be tired, some of them could just be, like, I'm running over here, to like Dollar General, Family Dollar, just to pick up some stuff, and then, I mean, even, the ones that wear it out, like, I have seen them in the grocery store, or, as Monique was talking about the airport, some people like to travel, comfortably. But, I mean, it doesn't bother me. Like, I just feel like, if they coming out, then, they pretty much comfortable in what they have on. And, I mean, as far as like, meeting people, of course, people gonna judge you regardless of whether or not you have on a button or you don't. Like, what I'm saying, their first, impression of you. But I mean, I think it's to each his own. I mean, I'm not totally against it. Now, have I done it? No. But, to each his own.
But wouldn't you want a good judgment though? Would you not want someone to be like, I would talk to them or offer them an opportunity or whatever, because it looks more like on the lazy side, as I don't, you don't even have time. Now, even if you're gonna wear your lounge wear or even something that look like pajamas, at least when you get in the car, take the bonnet off. That's my opinion. Take the bonnet off, put it back on. Now, if you on a long flight that you plan on going to sleep, that say 6 hours or more, right, you don't need to walk through the airport with the bonnet on, but it's okay to take it out your purse, put it on, and then lay back and relax. Because we know Black natural hair, you need that silk bonnet on your head to protect your hair. That's different. But if we're just walking around lollygagging and he ka, no, because you ain't protecting no hairstyle. You ain't protecting your hair.
So,
you being lazy.
Okay, but what about the people who are like in between hairstyles? Like, okay, I may be getting my hair done tomorrow, but I need to run out real quick. And they may not know how to do hair. Or they can't do nothing to their hair. So, they throw on the bonnet, or a scarf. I mean, it just depends. Everybody don't know how to tie a scarf. So, I mean, I'm just saying, even on that point.
They can find YouTube. They can YouTube it. How to tie a scarf.
I mean, you can find a lot of stuff on YouTube, but I still don't really know how to do my own hair, even though I done looked at thousands of YouTube videos. But I mean, I'm just saying, they want to, they feel like, okay, if I throw this on, then you can't really tell, like, I'm having a bad hair day, or I'm in between, like, I done just took my braids out and I'm going in for my appointment tomorrow. But I need to run these though.
I still want to do a bonnet, because I mean, you ain't got the thing about the scarf, you really don't have to do it in a fashionable way. You could just put the scarf on and just do the old-fashioned way that the folk used to do when they had the rollers back in the day. Put the scarf on and just tie it in the back. Simple.
What they making bonnets like with different prints? You got leopard print. You got all.
That ain't cute. That ain't cute. That ain't cute.
I mean, they make the same prints as all these stars. That's what they making them in.
There's definitely something that has been missed generational wise. Because if granddaddy is saying to you, you can't come downstairs to breakfast, you have to get yourself together, get yourself prepared, downstairs to breakfast. And now we're full-fledged walking in public with bonnets. There's something that has been missed between somebody's generation.
I agree. And I think that's what it is, because of the fact that I'm telling you, we couldn't come down, and you can ask your mom about it, Nika. We could not come downstairs for breakfast.
But I just think this generation,
and also, if you're not looking a certain way, you know, Dad always called me Nick. So he'd be like, Nick, is that what you're wearing? So you already know this is a no-go. So it wasn't, he was more keen up on clothes than Granny was. So he was more, if that's what you're wearing, you know, of course, you know, Granny was more like, well, I don't like that, but if that's what you want to wear, go ahead. But he was like, no.
Because you got to think too, it's a representation. So what you do, Joe always says to me, what you do small, you're going to do big. That's what he was taught. So you coming downstairs, prepare yourself for breakfast. It's small to you. It's like, well, you know, I'm just coming, I'm still at home. But then on the other side, it's like, you're not going to do that. I've never seen you personally go out in public like, you know, I haven't. I don't know about anybody else, but it translates over to other things is all I'm saying too. Mm-hmm. So you gotta, you know, at the same time, we're just saying, oh, it's a bonnet, but you don't, psychologically, it's like, no, take care of yourself. Get up in the morning, get yourself together, do what you need to do, because you're not only representing yourself, you're representing whoever else is connected to you. Have I been guilty of it in the past? Yeah, I've never worn a bonnet, but I've like I said, I look like, you know, hey, I could have stepped it up in my shirt. My shirt had a little hole on the side or something like that. It's just like, you know, hey, you could step it up a little bit better. But, you know, personally now, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of true. And I think that's what she was trying to touch on the most, was like, it's about the bonnet, but it really wasn't about the bonnet. It was like, we need to do better all together, because we're already going through so many things as a people. Happy Juneteenth, by the way. We're already going together, you know, going through things as a people, but we do need to step it up. Because then on the flip side, we get mad when they look at us like, you know, you guys are just a bunch of this. And it's like, well, kind of put yourself out there like that. Again, if you don't care, then it don't apply to you. But because you're one of us, we all should care.
Mm-hmm.
The thing though, and I get that. Some people though, they go out and they like, you know, they have on their pajama bottoms, or some of them have on their whole pajama, the whole outfit, you know, and I think in their mind, they're not thinking on that level, or what if I meet somebody or whatever. Some people, you know, they go out, it's just comfortable. Look, I had this on, I just had to come run up here. Some people probably don't care. Then you have that flip side when you got some people that may be going through something, you know, they may be going through depression or whatever. It took all they had to get up and come out, you know what I'm saying, and do what it is, whatever they need to do just to function that day. So, I mean, I agree with you on, you know, as far as it does send a different message to people as they, you know, when they see you or whatever, they like, oh, well, darn, she could at least throw on something. I get that. But then again, we don't know what that person is going through. Now, some of them seem like they fine, and you can do that. You can seem like you fine on the outside, but on the inside, mentally, you're not. Mm-hmm. So, you know, but I just think this generation, it's like, you know, I mean, it kind of like it is what it is. That's like, that's been like the mantra that's been going on for a few years. Like, if I get up and go, what up? I mean, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Fashion now is whatever you make it. So, we know we've been seeing pajama I mean, it's not a trend that I partake in, but for some reason it caught on. Folks in Walmart, they in Target, they at the mall, they got on pajama bottoms and, bedroom shoes and Bunnies, the whole nine. Would I do it? No.
Good point. I mean, but people at Target, I love Target. Versus
I can tell.
They dress different, Keisha. They dress different. They don't go in bonnets and stuff like that at Target. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never seen it, but yeah, could be.
And she brought and the thing is, Keisha, you did bring out a good point about depression. That could be that thing. But I still agree with Nikki. Majority of it, now some probably is good. They did all they could do to get out. Then that's a good point. Yeah. But majority of it, I think it do stem down to generation. Like, your mom, both of y'all moms had y'all dressed to the nine when y'all were young. Point blank, period. It was like, because we always had that thing. How again it instilled in y'all aunts and mothers, it was instilled in us. Right. You could not go outside any kind of way, period. Yeah. And even growing up, we couldn't go outside any kind of way. They was not playing that. You couldn't go outside any kind of way. And Granny was too. Now she was a thing on this one. This was her big thing. Well, are you looking like a lady? Or you acting like a lady? It's always, you got to be little prim and proper. You do ladies do that? It was, so again, it was still in y'all to, even if we as parents maybe was looking a mess, but they had y'all on point. Right. And I was the same way with my boys. I maybe was looking a mess, a very hot mess. But I had the boys on point, because when people look, I don't want them to looking like, oh, now she up and then look how them kids looking. No, I had, when we went anywhere, I had them looking least presentable. I ain't gonna say they was all the fashionistas can be on billboards. I'm not saying that, but at least they was looking decent and presentable. So again, it's all about what is still, because even Justin 17, when he get ready to go out the door, and sometimes he just have on a t-shirt, like a little wife beater, and the wife beater ain't no little new one. Look like he done pulled it this way, that way. And the ones that they really, you like, okay, they're just around the house or going to bed in. And he called himself, he sweat when he be going, I ain't got to put on a hat. He don't want no hat no other time, but we call himself going with the boy, got to wear a hat. So that's when I realized, okay, this boy think he's sharp. So I have to I have to get him at the door. Are you really wearing that shirt? So where y'all going? Are you really wearing that t-shirt? And then he'll look down. Well, what's wrong with? I said, you did not see it when you looked in the mirror. I said, go, at least go find another t-shirt or something to put on. I mean, yeah, when he put that hat on now, Nick, and I'm telling you, honey, he swear he the bomb.com then. I was like, oh Lord, I hate to cut into him, but baby, you is not that sharp if you with that t-shirt how he is looking. So again, it's still how you, it's still. So again, I think it do with the generational. And then Nick can touch on a little bit about what Monique was said, so people know what she said about the girl.
Oh no, that was another.
Oh, that was another person.
Yeah, she was just.
Oh, well, tell that story.
Okay, so I've watched her a lot. Deidre Dazzlin, she's a plus size fashion YouTuber. I don't know if you guys have probably seen her, but to make a long story short, she is a business owner, so she owns multiple businesses, but her daycare is her primary business at this time.
Mm-hmm.
She was in the store with her son and another young lady. She came across, had her toddler. They were at the grocery store. She came across another young lady, basically who's the same of what we're talking about. She had on, I think, pajama. She had on pajama pants. I don't know if she had a bonnet on, but pretty much she was tying it into this whole thing. And she pretty much pulled her to the side afterwards and just gave her some advice, coming from someone who was older to, obviously, I think the girl was probably in her early 20s. So she was just passing advice to her on, hey, if you need help, basically we're here, giving her tips to kind of help her with her son, and then just in general. Pretty much the girl dismissed her. She dismissed her ultimately. She ended up coming back into her probably 3 months later on an interview because she owns a daycare. So later on, 3 months down the line, the young lady who she was talking to applied for a position. So she came to the interview and basically they met each other again. She still remembered her. They both remembered each other, actually. But she pretty much came to the interview with like jean shorts, a t-shirt, and some house shoes. She didn't have a bonnet on at the interview, though. So she said to her, I didn't judge her from the time that I saw her before. That was just, I ran into you. That's no judgment. That has nothing to do with this interview. But pretty much, she went through the interview and she was saying she was remorseful. She was sorry. She was like, I was going through a lot, basically transitioning to moving to her mom's home. And she was going through a lot with her son at the time. That's the reason why she came in the store the way that she did. So after that, they went through the whole interview. She was like, can I ask you a question? She was like, yeah, sure. She was like, why did you come to the interview with house shoes on? She said, y'all call them slides, but they're house shoes. And she was like, well, what you talking about? This is what I always wear. She was like, you don't show up to an interview like that. And she was like, there's no need for us to prolong the interview any longer. You didn't get it. And so she walked away. But she missed out on the opportunity for a job that she really needed because she said she needed it at the time, all because of how the interaction was before. But even still, she didn't judge her on that interaction before. Look how she came inside the interview. It was just like, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like what I was touching on before, like it translates over to what you do. It's like you thought it was okay to come inside the grocery store like that, then you showed up to your interview like that. Mm-hmm. She may have not had anybody to teach her, but Deidre pulled her to the side and you dismissed that advice too. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that right there showed me, and I just watched that probably a week ago, was like, no. I'm not saying come dolled up. I have 6 kids. There's no way I'm going to go to the store suited and booted, but it's shining a light on me like, hey, make sure when you do go out in public, you can at least look decent to have a conversation with someone. If somebody pull you to the side, you know what I'm saying? If somebody stop you or somebody because you may run into somebody are you going to feel embarrassed if you know what I'm saying? It's just little small questions like that. And she also touched on what Keisha was talking about, which was a good thing because she does mental health too. So she was like, sometimes, you don't know what that person is going through. They could be depressed. Like Keisha mentioned, that could be their last of the last. She said, as a person who's, her age, she said, if I see the younger ones or something like that, she said, I do pull them to the side and say, hey, what you need? You know what I'm saying? And I think too, I'm like, if you see, 9 times out of 10, if you're gonna come out and that's all that you have, or that's like it took you everything to get up. If you're a believer, I don't know if your audience is believers or not, but if you're a believer, God really does give you opportunities.
True.
There's so many times that I've come across people that I knew, and I just knew something was happening in their life. I didn't know what was going on, but I was like, hey, I just want to slip this to you. And they're in tears. You know what I'm saying? And so God literally opened the door. Maybe he meant for me to go to the store because that person was going to be there. That's a different story. And that's why we should always be in prayer when it comes to things like that too, because you don't know who God is sending your way to have you touch on or meet on or anything like that. But now, you know how Keisha was talking about, you can make anything a fashion, and it's true. Like they have the fuzzy slippers, the slippers with the fur. I don't particularly like those. I'm not saying they're bad, but that's a trend. You can literally, and they're slides. They're really slides, house shoes, but they've decked them out.
And I love them. I like them.
Yeah.
Now, I ain't gonna say I like all of them because some of them, but I do like them. I'm not gonna lie to you, I like them. I don't even have a pair, but I want one. I do have the Ugg ones, but you know, I do like the fuzzy slippers. But you know, just like you said, it is a difference in generation because when I went to high school versus how these kids be dressing in high school now is way different. Like we went to high school, you know, you showed up dressed to impress at high school. You know what I'm saying? You weren't going on no job interview, nothing. You just dressed to impress. Now when they go to high school, I mean, I'm like, the kids be in pajamas or whatever, you know, and people be like, oh, it's just kids. But it's like, okay, but we showing up.
Tell about the girl that you had to let her know. Keisha, tell about the girl that you had to tell, don't go to school no more dressed like that.
Yeah, I mean, because, you know, it was like, you know, I used to work at like one of the little after school programs. And so it was this young lady. And so, you know, she attached to me as, you know, being my little sister. And so one day she came over to the program right after school. And, you know, she had on sweatpants and they were just kind of like, you know, it had like a couple of holes in it, had on a t-shirt, her hair. She actually had her hair in a bonnet and she had on some slides. And I pulled her to the side, you know, because she always called me sitting out like, hey, see, let me talk to you. And I just went on ahead and broke it down to her. I was like, you know, I mean, I get it. She was like, well, I just woke up this morning and I feel like, okay, I get that. But you too young to walk out the house looking like that. You know, nobody, I mean, when you go to school, I mean, you actually going to a place. We ain't just chilling at the house or sitting on the block, whatever they want to call it. You literally going to a place. And I did tell her the same thing. I was like, okay, so when somebody sees you, I was like, what do you think that they think about you? And she was like, well, I don't care. I mean, but you do care.
Right.
You do.
Yeah, you do care. That's true.
Even when your peers say something about you, you care about it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like now the generation, like I said, like, you know, when they go into school, whatever, it is, I mean, I guess this is what they making the fashion trend or whatever, but it is a trend of, I don't care. It is what it is. I'm walking out the house. This how I feel. This the way I'm going to look. But you can't look how you feel all the time.
That's true. You can't.
That's so true.
That's so true.
But I did tell her, I was like, don't ever walk out the house looking like that ever again. I was like, because it ain't cute. You know? I mean, this is not just, oh, okay, well, this is your word. I mean, it ain't like you sitting on $1 million. You gotta, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You gotta grow up. You gotta go for a job interview. Do you know how to dress to go to a job interview? She was like, yeah, you know, I was like, you sure? She was like, yeah. I was like, because you can't walk in people places and I don't even care if it's just crystal. They still don't want you walking in there leaking any kind of way.
They don't.
But see, that's what I'm saying though. You're still pulling somebody aside to tell them, no, that's not a good look. You know what I'm saying? You know, even, I don't know if you'll do it to someone that you don't know, but that's how, you know, it's good to build those relationships. And I'm happy she called you sister, because she's connected now to someone who actually cares and who's actually doing something. And that's the thing. It's all about, we're all connected to each other. Eventually we are.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you look a certain type of way, somebody be like, well, they all look like that. And it's just, I understand to a level of degree, I don't care what people say, but we've gotten so like careless with that to now everybody's saying they don't care about anything. It's like, sis, you really do. Like,
Yeah.
you really do.
Yeah.
You know, we throw it up like, I don't care. You know, I got Josh, he's older. He'll say, like, he'll shrug his shoulders. He's like, I'm like, nah, you care.
Yeah.
So, to a certain degree,
Yeah.
that's my thing. To a certain degree, how much of a level you care, you know, but you can't say that you just don't care. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
that was
Right.
cool.
And then certain things you really don't care about, like for real. You'd be like, man, I don't care about that. And really don't think twice about it. But I agree, certain things though you need to care about. Certain things you need to care about.
Yeah, for sure.
That you know, especially when it's concerning your future and concerning still, like you say, we have to work, us Black Americans have to work extra hard and do go that extra mile to either get even half an opportunity. We got to really put the work in and really for real do it. So it matters how we go out in public, because that's the first thing they want to say. I figured that's how they do. Look at them. You know, that's the first thing they already saying. Even if you coming up to anywhere, you know, I figure that. I figure that's how, you know, they are. That's how they want to do is with the Bonnets. Because if you think of, you don't never see them with no bonnet on, ever. They don't have one, but we in public got to come with the bonnet. We in public, we got to go and want to fight and kill each other. And what they fail to realize, that's what they want. Yeah. They want us gone. And then you want to holler Black Lives Matter when a white cop get, man, go on with that. Nobody ain't stuck, because if it really mattered, you would not be out in the street doing what you're doing. Exactly. If it really mattered, we ain't got time to do no march. I ain't doing no march. I don't do no march. I ain't got no Black Lives Matter shirt, none of that. I'm not studying that. I ain't even with this Juneteenth. The only way I'm with it if they give me the day off and we got to work Monday.
I mean, you don't support BLM? I mean, really?
I don't support them, because of the fact is we ourselves got to get ourselves together.
Well, that really from Juneteenth though. Juneteenth, historically a freedom day for African Americans.
Yeah, it's a freedom, right? But it's
more towards
it's a freedom for slavery, but deep down inside, y'all still slaves.
We are
slaves. But in the mentally,
the fact that they're not physically
right, physically, but mentally, yeah, you're still we still slave to this society. We still working on these folk jobs. Y'all know when I say these folk, y'all know who I'm talking about. We still working on these folk jobs. That means mentally they got us.
But it has become, and that's one thing I will credit to our generation, is that they are making it more acceptable that we are able to own our own businesses, and they're making it a normal conversation, even though we've had Black business owners for years. You know, years upon years.
Right, and thank God for this generation. I agree. Thank God. I agree. Thank God for this generation, because this generation brought out the social media where you can have your own business without actually got to have a building. You can start online free with little money and then boss on up big. And you're right. I thank God for this generation for opening the platform for that.
That's why I say everyone is not enslaved. Some people still are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's why I believe Monique had that had that response and it circulated so popular because it's an issue. It's to the point where it's like, again, it's about the bonnets, but it's not about the bonnets.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like
yeah, I mean, it was a deeper meaning. It was a deeper meaning. I said,
and some people missed it, some people didn't. And I'm like, it's the truth. But again, if you're not going to help Keisha pull aside the young lady, everybody's not doing that part. That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, to a certain degree, it is your prerogative, but also to a certain degree, we God forbid something happened to one of our Black men or Black women in Justice League, and then we're all banding together. That's not the only time we should be banding together.
Thank you.
I agree with that.
And exactly. That's not the only time we got
your
to
coattail on something like this, like, hey, we need to look a certain way too. Then it's like, don't worry about me.
yeah,
that's right. You got 16, 15, 16-year-olds out here in Macon, Georgia, that is killing people. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Killing up, but you're killing other Blacks. But then you want to holler Black Lives Matter when you think that that they was killed, like you say, unjustly. Then we want to holler Black Lives. No, it doesn't matter until it begins with you. Until it matters to you, then we can all come together for this cause. But right now, how are we going to get together to stop all of this? Killing people just for no reason because they jealous of them or they want this. They see them with this and that. It's like, no. And it just is really sad. It's really sad. So it's like, I don't know. I know I don't agree with that Black Lives Matter stuff. I don't. But I'm not saying all lives matter, but I definitely don't agree with it.
They're standing up for a cause, but really I think it just shined light on, hey, we do matter too. I just want to push it a step further to say we matter too in everything, not just when police are.
Exactly.
We got to push it a little bit further, and we do have to work on our inner selves at that point to say, hey, I'm open to somebody. The young lady, again, she could have turned around and said, thank you, I appreciate that, even if you didn't feel it at the moment. But it's like, we don't open ourselves up to correction. We don't open ourselves up to say, hey, you know what, you're right. We don't call ourselves out on that. I will say that. And then it's hard. Not everybody does it, but a lot of people do.
Yeah. And, let's say like on a positive note though, we are the most dope, creative, culture that's out there. Yeah. Like, we can take something and just make it blow up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like TikTok, for instance. I mean, of course, some of our other sisters and brothers was using TikTok. But like when we get on there and we just do these videos, it just becomes a trend. Like it just becomes, like everybody not getting on TikTok, young, old, whatever is on TikTok now. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's kind of, it's sad, but, it's like we can touch stuff like and I'm not just saying like we're the only ones, but for some reason our
culture, yeah.
Like we can touch some stuff, we can turn it, like when we act on a positive note, we can touch it and turn it into gold. But we just don't know how, you know what I'm saying? But we don't know how to just, keep it on that train and stop going toward the negative. Stop, you know what I'm saying? Stop the other stuff. We just want, it's crazy. It's crazy how much just creativity that just flow through this culture.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. And that's the sad part, because a lot of times we stop our own selves.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. But we can take the smallest little thing and then make it huge. It be epic. Now that is true. And I will say this, we're some very gifted, creative people. We're very gifted.